If you guys want to join us for these mailbags, you got to be subscribed. That is the only way to get your questions on the show. Otherwise, you're going to miss out when we go live. So if you haven't already and you want free daily videos here at Chat Sports, hit that big red button and subscribe today. First up from my burner account, NFL needs to seriously consider AI for officiating. I understand this. Guys, what AI is smart enough to do this? Like, what AI is going to be able to properly identify, well, that's a holding call, that's not, in instant real time? I honestly don't think that AI exists. If it did, let's ride. But this is not like baseball, where you have a defined zone for a ball and strike where you can ID if it's a strike or a ball. There's way too much movement going on and bad angles the AI can't see. So, yeah, explore it. I just don't know if it exists, plain and simple. From Avi, however you say it. So the Texans fire David Culley. Oh, we're getting hot again here. Objectively speaking, I don't think David Culley is one of the 32 best head coaches in the NFL. I think there's somebody else better than him. But the Texans completely botched that head coaching search last year. They might just give David Culley time because they hired him. I don't think he's the guy, but I also think Houston's like years away, so you can maybe wait a bit to fire him. But I would not be surprised or upset if they dump him. From Gus on a Bus. What a fun name. Will the Steelers trade away Joe Haden before the deadline? Interesting name. I thought a week ago, this maybe had a little bit more life to it. But the Steelers are starting to show more life. I think that makes it a bit more likely they would keep Joe Haden. Remember, Pittsburgh is in a different spot than some teams at their record. They have an aging franchise quarterback. And right or wrong, fair or not, they are committed to winning and pushing for one more try with Big Ben at the helm. So Joe Haden helps them win games right now. They might lose him in free agency. If they didn't have him and if Big Ben got hurt, if I were Pittsburgh, I would trade away Joe Haden. $7 million base salary is a bit of an issue right now as it relates to the Steelers or a new team. A new team would own about half of it from that perspective. So it does make things a little bit tricky as it sits right now in terms of the value. But if Pittsburgh collapses, he is a logical trade candidate. So get your votes in for me. Name a player who you think will get traded. This is going to be the pinned comment on today's live video. So if you get the ad break here on YouTube, it's very simple. Scroll on down, get your votes in, let me know who you think gets dealt. Super chat now from John. There it is. If the Cowboys win the Super Bowl, will they fire McCarthy to keep Kellen Moore? I don't see how you could fire a Super Bowl winning head coach. There's just no way you can do that, even though I think Kellen might be a better option. Maybe at that point, McCarthy says, cool, I'm out. I'm bouncing, and then you promote Kellen Moore. That might be your path there, but firing him when they win the Super Bowl, you can't do it. There's just no way. From Luis Rodriguez, is Daniel Jones a franchise quarterback? Jury is currently out. I lean towards no. Now, maybe with a better offensive coordinator, he looks better. He's been better this year. I kind of regressed against the Rams, but everyone has bad games. He's been a better player this year because of all those fumbles, again, outside of the Rams game. I'm not in love with Daniel Jones right now. But I think there's just enough promise the Giants might roll it back for one more year next year, probably with a different OC. From Joey, think about this for a second. Butker misses the game-winning field goal versus the Cowboys. How much more respected would that record be than 5-1? I mean, you'd be one of two undefeated teams, so you would be viewed as one of the best teams in the NFL. I think the national discussion has been, hey, this is a team that we do believe is in consideration for one of those best teams. I think the Cowboys are being respected. At the same time, remember, You're a touchdown taken forward from losing against the Chargers, a near loss against the Patriots. So I think they're getting the proper amount of respect the Cowboys are for what they should be doing as they sit right now. From Eric Rivera, top 5 defensive players of the year this year. Okay, so I think you got to go with a guy like Myles Garrett, Trevon Diggs, certainly inside of that conversation as well. Chandler Jones started the year really, really hot. Since then, he hasn't quite been the same guy. I think at this point, it's been a little bit quieter from that perspective. I think Danielle Hunter has had a great year flying under the radar. Aaron Donald, always going to be in that conversation. I'll throw another name here. How about the play from Max Crosby? I think Max Crosby has been awesome this year for the Raiders. So I think I gave you guys 5 guys there. If not, well, I'm sorry. That's my mistake. But I think guys like, Chandler Jones early, Myles Garrett, Trevon Diggs, not DeMarcus Lawrence, Max Crosby, and you throw in Aaron Donald because he always is. Good names there for Defensive Player of the Year. From Otis Hurts, that's a funny name. Should Lamar win NFL MVP? I don't know if Lamar actually wins that award. There's a lot that goes into MVP awards, expectations, good football team. All those things unquestionably play into it. But he's been great this year. The Ravens' ground game has not nearly been as great as it's been in the past. That is an issue for this team outside the Chargers game. Lamar has won games so far, thanks in large part to his arm. That has been a big reason why the Ravens are where they're at this year. Fumbles got to get dialed back. If you wanted to define MVP as truly most valuable, these franchise QBs like Lamar are always in that conversation. Imagine, let's just say Joe Flacco on this team. They're not that good. So because I do think it is fair to put Lamar inside the NFL MVP conversation. So with that in mind, get your votes in. Who do you think will end up winning NFL MVP this season? As things sit right now, here are the odds. Kyler Murray leads the way plus 400. I get it. He fits the mold of that MVP winner, right? Breakout year. Really good football team, etc. Exceeding expectations. I get that. Josh Allen, Dak Prescott. 2 good bets at plus 450 entering Monday Night Football. Tom Brady plus 750. There is some voter fatigue there. And then Lamar up to 5 plus 800. I get it. And you can bet, of course, on all these games and all these MVP props and every game each week for the NFL with our sportsbook partner, BetUS. Head over to chatsports.com/bet. Use the promo code you guys see on screen. That is NFL Daily. That'll get you a 125% deposit bonus when you guys put down at least $100. You're literally playing with free money when you go to chatsports.com/bet and use promo code NFL Daily. From Thomas Melancon, great first name, my friend. What can the Falcons get for Matt Ryan? What are his possible destinations? I was thinking Denver. A trade is doable from the Falcons' perspective. It makes things tricky in terms of money saved. You'd save a pretty similar amount trade waiting until next year. The contract is movable with the money, only $2 million. I don't think Denver is going to go all in like that. If a team loses their quarterback, like let's say Baker is actually really injured, Cleveland maybe, but you're not going to play Matt Ryan over Baker. I think the likely outcome for the Falcons for now is that they wait with Matt Ryan. They see how this year goes, and next year, when there's more savings to be had, then they could look to shop Matt Ryan in a trade. Anfiny, I think Newton and Metcalf together in the locker room could be a problem for Seattle. I don't know if those guys are actually locker room issues. I think they are just very loud, explosive personalities. And Metcalf was talking too much about Shannon Sharp because Metcalf messed up. Dude, go out of bounds. What are you doing? I don't think that locker room would be an issue. And I also know this. Newton would not be the starter. That's Russell Wilson once he comes back healthy. So I think it would be okay, but I do get where you're coming from. Locker room would be a concern, at least a potential concern for any NFL team. AV, what trade should the Cowboys consider? I would strongly look at interior defensive line. That area, I don't think the Cowboys are in that great of shape. I think they're a bit thin and a bit untalented, at least in terms of top-end talent. So it's tricky to find trades mid-season, but if I were the Cowboys, I'd be looking interior defensive line first and foremost. From Christian Navarro, what's your opinion on Trevor Lawrence and Urban Meyer? I think we've seen Lawrence, maybe it's not like a straight upwards line, maybe some ups and downs inconsistently. I think Trevor Lawrence is going to be a franchise quarterback. I'm not concerned on that front. As for Urban Meyer, I am concerned. I don't think he's the guy for any franchise. Like, he looks so pained on the sideline. I don't think it's going to work in the end. So, Trevor I like. I'm more or less out, though, on Urban Meyer as we sit right now. So I get that, but I'm just not convinced that Urban Meyer is going to be the guy to lead any franchise. We will see what happens at the end of the year, but I would not be that surprised if the Cowboys chose to move on, or the Jags, chose to move on from Urban Meyer. AV says, propose a trade for the Cowboys. Can you get like a Sheldon Rankins from the Jets for a late-round pick? Someone mentioned the Falcons earlier. How about this one? How about Grady Jarrett for a 4th or a 5th? Money's an issue there for the Cowboys. Maybe you work something out there and give a better pick back to Atlanta. But maybe a early day 3 pick for Grady Jarrett of the Falcons? I think that would help the Falcons out long-term and give the Cowboys an interior presence at DT. From SammySlaps, should the Broncos trade for a quarterback? And is Vic Fangio going to... Can't look at that a 2-for-1 question. Okay. I doubt Denver trades for a QB, because guess what? If the year keeps up, you're going to need those assets so that you can go find a way and trade for Aaron Rodgers next year. Teddy Bridgewater's a top 35-ish quarterback, somewhere in that range, maybe even a bit higher, maybe 25. But he is limited, and the offense, I don't believe, is helping him out very much either right now. I think they can certainly do more than what they've done so far. As for Fangio, I think his time is running out. New GM probably wants his own guy. If they miss the playoffs and continue their collapse, I don't think he's going to be there. So get your votes in for me. Will Vic Fangio be fired this year? Get your predictions in. Y for yes or N for no. Jacob Williams, who should the Bengals target? Good question. Do you want more corner help? I don't ever trust Trey Waynes to be healthy. I like your playmakers on receiver. You're probably having a tough time finding O-line help. I think your linebackers will play better. Overall, I'd be looking at corner as one area for Cincinnati. Not a bunch of great guys available on the market, but you can always look and try and get more help there. So that could be an option for Cincinnati. Maybe a Cam Dantzler, if he becomes available, could be a fit. Evan Hinders, if Carson Wentz keeps playing like he did the past 2 weeks, will the Colts pay him top dollar? Well, I mean, let's not overreact to him beating up on a crappy Texans team. Carson Wentz, though, folks, is under contract for, I believe, 3 more years plus this one. So paying Wentz right now is not a concern. The Colts do not have to pay him right now. They've got him under contract for like 21-ish on average. Or no, sorry, like 27, 28 million on average. Right now, there is no panic as things sit for Carson Wentz and the Colts to pay him right now.